This is KTVO's Good Morning Heartland.
Welcome back. It's Tuesday, which means Samantha is in the kitchen at Indian Hills Community College. Let's see what's on the menu this week. Hey, Samantha.
Thanks, Ellen. Good morning. I'm at the test kitchen here at Indian Hills Community College with Johnny, who is a first-term student. And you were saying earlier that you're from New York. So what brought you out here?
Family. Family moved over, and I grounded myself here, had kids, and now I'm here to stay.
Now, you're a couple weeks into the program. How has everything been going so far?
Good. Very good. Enjoying the class. Is picking up a little bit quicker than I like, so that's good.
You're going to learn a lot of stuff. And so what is one thing that really drew you into cooking and wanting to have a future in that?
I'm more of a what you call experimental cooker, so I've always been wanting to just try different random things in my kitchen. So instead of just being spontaneous and doing things like that, I think I would like to have more of a consistent flow of what ingredients to use in certain products and what brings out certain flavors. So
well, I think you and I need to hang out a little bit because I am not very experimental,
right.
And I stick to the book because I know that I'll mess it up if I don't do it correctly. So we can hang out and help each other with that. So today we're making stuffed potato balls, which is also known as
Ahorita papa.
Okay, so it's a Spanish dish.
Yes, it's a Puerto Rican dish, actually.
Oh, Puerto Rican dish. Okay, perfect. So let's walk through the ingredients quick.
Okay, so first we have here is ground beef. And unfortunately, we weren't able to use a type of ingredient called sofrito. So I substituted it with peppers, onions, and garlics, and then I seasoned it with salt, pepper, some oregano. And that's the meat portion right there for you. And then on the other side is mashed potatoes, which were
we
made
all
from
know
scratch.
mashed potatoes, yep.
Right, so you make them from scratch like normal. The only difference is that you add starch, another ingredient, to just give it more of a consistency. So that way it does what I'm asking it to do.
Perfect. So when we come back, we're going to go through the process, put them all together, get them in the fryer.
Yep, and
Sound
we'll
good?
see how they go.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And if you're just joining us, we'll be right back with how to make these stuffed potato balls.
And welcome back. As you know, Samantha's in the kitchen learning how to make stuffed potato balls. Let's see how things are coming along. Good morning, Samantha.
Thanks, Ella. If you're just joining us, I'm at the test kitchen here at Indian Hills Community College with Johnny, who is a first-term student, and we are going through the process of making stuffed potato balls, which is also known as
Ahorita papas.
Which is a Puerto Rican dish. So we walked through the ingredients earlier. Let's go through the process. How do you make these?
Yes, okay. So first step is that you're going to have to put some starch on your hands, so that way the potato does not get too sticky on your hands. So once you do that, you're going to grab a portion of potatoes, which they're sticky to begin with. Once you start putting the starch on the potato itself, it actually tends not to stick to your hands so much. Then you can start forming it into like a little pocket pretty much that you're going to put the ground beef in.
And now there is starch in there already just
Yes.
to kind of give it that form.
Yes, pretty much you're just adding starch to your hands so that way it doesn't stick to your hands. That way you can actually form it the way you want to.
Perfect.
Then we're going to take the ground beef and we're just going to cup our hand with the beginning of our fingers so that way it makes a little cup.
Okay.
Once you put the ground beef in, depending on how much you can get in, then you're going to take the rest of it. Again, I'll show you if I take with my fingers, you can see how sticky that is.
Right.
So you're going to have to reuse starch again.
So starch is very important in this process.
Yes, just to keep the potatoes from not sticking to your fingers too much. Once you do that, though, as you can see, I picked it up with no problem, and it's not sticking to my hands. So you're going to form the top ball, and you're just going to collectively put it together until the ground beef is no longer visible.
Wonderful.
Once the ground beef is gone, then you have yourself a potato ball.
Now, do you want to make sure that it's not a thin layer over top so that it doesn't fall apart?
Yes, eventually you can see as this right here, I'll leave it open. You can see if you have spots that have ground beef sticking out, obviously you just want to cover it up and make it a consistent potato ball all the way around. But once it's consistent, the ball forms up good and it doesn't stick. With the oil, you have to have the oil pretty hot in order to actually have them cook, because if you just drop them in there, what happens is the oil gets it soggy and then it doesn't create the texture that you're looking for. So you want it to have a certain height of temperature on it that allows it to cook instantly as it's warming it up at the same time.
And about how long do you want to have it in there?
You probably want to have it until you see a nice golden crisp. I would say anywhere from a minute to a minute and a half will be good enough. If you overcook them, what's going to happen is that the exterior is going to get too hard, and then you're going to have the inside on balance. So
okay, perfect.
And make it easy flow for it.
And we're going to drop this in here, and when we come back, we're going to see the finished product. Sound good?
Exactly.
All right, Ella, we're going to go ahead and send it back to you.
Samantha has been in the kitchen learning how to make stuffed potato balls. Let's see how they came out. Good morning, Samantha.
Thanks, Ella. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm at the test kitchen here at Indian Hills Community College with Johnny, who is a first-term student, and we just finished up making stuffed potato balls, also known as
de papas.
I will eventually get that down. It'll just take me a little bit to practice.
It'll take me a little bit too.
Yes, so it's a Puerto Rican dish. So walk me through the process that we just did in the last step.
Okay, so what we did was we took the starch, placed it on our hands, and we formed the potato itself. Then we filled the potato with the ground beef and covered the potato and sealed it in complete ball. Then at that point, we took it and we submerged it in oil for about a minute and a half until you see a light brown crustiness on the outside, and then pull them out. You want to let them sit for a little bit so that way they can rest, and then you cut them open.
And I noticed here you have a little bit of a paper towel just to soak up a bit of that extra.
Yeah, no one likes to eat grease, so it's always good to take as much off as possible.
Yes, so now let's cut into this and see all the meat on the inside. It smells amazing.
Thank you.
Look at that. And you said this fills you up.
Yes, they're pretty filling. You know, on the average person probably eat 3 of them if they wanted to, depending on how hungry you were. But the mashed potato itself is pretty filling, and then the ground beef mixed with it gives it a good balance. So.
And this is something that you have made quite often on your own.
Yes.
So what does this mean to you?
It's just a dish that I'm able to present because, like I said earlier previously, it's not something that you'll find on an everyday restaurant or somewhere where you can just go up and grab it. So it's nice to incorporate one of my dishes from my homeland and give it to people that in order to taste it and see something different.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be a hit here. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. I wish you the best at your time here at Indian Hills. And Ella, we're going to go ahead and send it back to you.